Hey everybody, welcome to our Paper Flowerfest kickoff and craft along project. Who's excited to be here today? You guys are like bananas in the comments already. I'm so excited y'all are here. I logged in and I was just like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe how many people are already in the comments. If you can see me and hear me okay, let me know. Everything looks to be working from our end. We were having a little issue with our audio on our mic earlier, so we switched mics. So you should be able to still hear me just fine. We did plenty of tests, but it seems to be working well. I'm so happy you guys are here. Okay, thank you all for showing up. This has been just an incredible couple of weeks as we've been prepping for our craft, or not our craft fest. Can you tell I'm tired today? Prepping for our flower fest. There's too many fests. I do too many fests, right? It's easily confused. All right. Okay. So hi, everybody. You guys are dedicated. I saw a few people in the comments who were like, it's 2 a.m. in Australia and I'm here to watch it. You guys are awesome. Like, that's dedication. There will be a replay. So if you need to go get some sleep, it's okay. You can sleep. This video will be here for you when you wake up. I promise. This video will actually be up the entire week of this event. So starting from today that we're creating it all the way through the end of the Flower Fest on the 17th. So you'll have the duration of this next week to enjoy it. So if you're hanging out with me and you want to stay up live, that's great. But if you need some sleep, please go get some sleep too. I love that we have such an amazing international audience. It's such a privilege. All right. Okay, you guys are amazing. Hi, everybody. If I could say hi to each one of you individually, I would. All right, welcome. Okay, so I am, as you all know, but in case you're happening across this video in the moment, I'm Abbi Kirsten, creator of Abbi Kirsten Collections. I'm also your hostess for the Paper Flowerfest event. I am so excited for this year's event. It has just been on fire more than the past couple of years that we've done this. If you have not grabbed your free ticket yet to the Paper Flowerfest, please do so. You want to save your free spot so you can watch all the amazing workshops. You can go to AbbiKirstenCollections.com/register. And also, guys, you have been so helpful this week in like our Facebook group and so alive in our help desk and comments and feedback. Could you just take 2 seconds and could you just share with a friend or somebody who you think would love to be a part of this event as well, and that they can grab their free ticket and just send them to that link, or even just hit share on this live stream right now. It's completely like 2 seconds. It's easy, it's free, and it supports us. And it brings more crafty friends in, which crafting is always more fun with people and friends, right? I mean, I'm an introvert, so, you know, I like my quiet craft time. Don't get me wrong, but it is really fun to get together with friends and be able to do these projects as well. Okay, thank you guys for sharing. Thank you so much. So I'm going to give us a little bit of a roadmap today, exactly what we're going to be doing, and that way you kind of know where we're going during our time together. Okay, so we are going to first be going over, I have my notes here, so I'm like laser focused on what we're talking about. We have workshops for the Flower Fest. They're going to be dropping May 15th through the 17th. I'm going to go over that just a little bit in detail and just go over our schedule page. That way you guys can plan for what workshops you're wanting to see the most, especially free ticket holders. If you're the VIP Flower Power Pass holder, excuse me, my voice has been really shaky this week. If you're the VIP Flower Power Pass holder, you of course already have access to everything. You will continue to have access after the event ends, and you get all those additional bonuses that the free ticket holders don't get. Nevertheless, I still want to go over things on the schedule page so you guys have a clear idea of where you can go to find this information, especially for free ticket holders, and what's coming up and all of that good stuff. Then we'll go into our Craft Tech Talks. So Craft Tech Talks at Abbi Kirsten Collection are basically anything that helps you craft technology-wise. It might be a technique, it might be an actual tech skill on the computer, which is what we're going to cover here today, which is going to include downloading our files for today's project and uploading them to Cricut Design Space. Now, if you do not have a cutting machine, and you can join this event and participate if you do not have a cutting machine, that's one of the unique things about this event, then that section won't necessarily pertain to you. And I will be giving you tips on how to cut by hand as well. So don't worry, I will cover that. But you may also, for those who are cutting by hand and you think, you might get into this more often, it's a great section of our live to observe because it helps you see it if, you're interested in potentially owning a cutting machine. So it's a great section to observe. So we'll do our craft tech talk and then we'll actually make our bloom. We'll build our bloom step by step, which is going to be our mini woodland flowers today. You guys have probably already seen them in the email and everything that went out. They're super dainty and cute. They're great accent flowers. They're great for like little decorations. Like I love to put them under like glass domes. So this is a glass dome back here and that I did last year at the Cricut Flowerfest. And then because Joann's was going out of business, they had clearance, right? And so I'm in there like picking around clearance. There's this cute little mini dome that I found. Look how cute it is. And I put some little woodland flowers inside of it. It's just so fun and cute. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but it's adorable and I have to have it, right? Because that's what we do as crafters. We just collect. We have to collect, right? So we'll make our bloom and then we're going to have all of our giveaways. So giveaways today are going to be super fun. I am going to be giving away a Cricut Maker 4 machine, and I also will be giving away a few other surprises, including some VIP passes as well, and I will share more about that after we make our project together, and it'll be super easy to enter, like nothing fancy, and we have a lot of other giveaways happening during the event this week, so I'll be sharing a little bit more about the other ones you can enter for as well. So there's lots of exciting things. All right, let me take a pause here. Do we have any outstanding questions or concerns so far? I'm not seeing really anything, but okay. Awesome. You guys are great. Thank you. Okay. All right. Going in order of my notes. Oh, yes. I cannot forget this. I almost forgot. I promised y'all that every time we do a live, we're now going to do a segment where we just take a moment to be grateful for our community and what we've been able to share and serve here in this world of crafters. And so one of the ways we're doing this, I told you I'd come up with a name for the segment eventually. We're just going to call it Tell Me Something Good. That's actually an internal name that we use in the brand with our team. And we actually just screenshot all y'all's feedback and everything. And we put it in this Slack channel for our team because it just really encourages us. And we're so grateful for all of your positive feedback. So I just wanted to highlight a few of the amazing pieces of feedback we have gotten, especially about our VIP pass. You'll see there's a theme for the Flowerfest this year. I specifically love this one by Diane. She said, just got my VIP pass 3 years in a row. If you want to learn how to make paper flowers, Abbi is the one. If you don't get the VIP pass now, you will regret it. I assure you it's worth every penny. I thought that was such a beautiful thing to be grateful for because Diane not only obviously is happy with the pass, but oh my goodness, she got it 3 years in a row. I cannot believe it. She's got all the flowers. That is amazing. So thank you guys for the beautiful feedback in our community. We greatly appreciate it. You can put me back up on screen now, babe. Thank you. I have my husband moderating over here. Shout out to Michael. He's always in the background. He's always in my corner helping out, and he is in the comments as well. All right, so we got our Tell Me Something Good. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to walk through the schedule page real quick so you guys feel super prepared for this week. And I also set our free ticket holders up for much success. So let me share my screen. Oh, they changed the layout of I got it. All right, you guys should be able to see my screen in just a second here. Is it coming up, babe? Yep. All right. All right, now all of the links for things I'm calling out here today are below in this video description. So if you're on desktop watching, you should be able to scroll down underneath the video and you'll see like a little description area. If you click on show more, it'll show you links to everything I'm about to call out. So you can actually literally click on it and you don't have to type these things out. And yeah, you'll find all that info there and it will remain there. So you can also return to this. It's super helpful. It's a place to return to. So I'm on the schedule page right now, y'all. And this is where you can come to plan what workshops you're going to watch during the event. Again, if you're a Flower Power Pass holder, you got them forever, but I just like to cover this here. We have this little handy a printable flower fest schedule for you that we made. So if you would like to print it out and plan, please do so. And this year I added a workshop wish list printable. So it'll help you pick out your top workshops that you want to watch for our different segments that we offer, and it's just a way to stay organized. Please do not try and cram it all in unless you want to grab that Flower Power Pass, because you'll overwhelm yourself. Pick the ones that interest you the most, and you'll be able to get the most takeaway from that, okay? So scrolling down just a bit here, here's how this is going to work. We have what's called the Bloom with Basics collection, okay? And Bloom with Basics is a set of 7 workshops. They're specifically designed with all of the key basics and fundamentals of making paper flowers. These are the skills that you're going to return to again and again, no matter what paper flower you're making. And so this specific collection is available for all 3 days of the event, 15th, 16th, and 17th. So you're going to have access to these each day in addition to the set of workshops that's dropping every morning for that free 24-hour period. So make sure you pick out at least 3 of these to watch, because there's a lot of information packed into them. If you are somebody who's working primarily with a cutting machine, definitely watch that cutting machine setup. If you're cutting by hand and you're just using scissors, definitely watch that one. It has a lot of little extra tips, tricks, and hacks to help you if you're not working with a cutting machine. So make sure you visit those Blooms with Basics. There's things on hanging giant flowers, shaping leaves. We even have a special one on our paper bloom shaping mat and tool set, which is entirely optional. I always show alternate ways around that. If you don't wish to purchase or do not have, there are always alternates. However, I am going to give you guys a little insider tip. That tool set, which helps you shape lifelike blooms, you can cup and curl the petals in very unique lifelike ways. This tool set, we've been very fortunate and we've sold them for the last few years. However, we are not considering at this time renewing our supply of them, because we are building a new arm of the brand and a new way to serve you guys. And so we only have a couple hundred units left. So they are in limited supply. And I just mentioning that because we've seen a lot of people grab them this week, and I want to let you all know that and be upfront about it, that we're not going to be probably restocking these next year. We might restock them the following year, but if you would like one, now's the time to grab it, and there is a link there for you. That way you don't have to go hunting for it. All right, then we have our official day 1, so that's Thursday, May 15th. In addition to those 7 Blooms with Basics that are going to be dropping, you're going to have these 4 other workshops that are going to be available to watch that day. So we have our giant paper poppies. Who's excited for those? I've seen a lot of people making those already in the group who've grabbed the pass. They're just so fun, right? I had to go with a poppy because I'm going to tell myself here, I am obsessed with the Wicked movie. Like, it's such a good storyline, and I love like the message in it. And I'm like, there is a poppy theme in the movie, and I have to make that for Flowerfest this year. So they're like one of my favorites this year. We have our camellias, and then we also have some giant paper butterflies, which pair beautifully with giant paper flowers. And then we have our giant wild roses as well. You guys have also I've been seeing a ton of those, haven't you, babe? Like the giant wild roses in the group. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of those. Those are super fun, great for party decorations. So if you're like, I got a graduation coming up, or like a graduation celebration, or somebody's birthday, these are great for that. Absolutely love it. Question?
No.
Okay.
You got lots of sunflowers too.
Yes. I was going to get to that next. Yeah. So day 2, that's Friday, May 16th. We've got 5 workshops that day in addition to the Bloom with Basics. So how to make a white jasmine flower and turn it into a crown, how to make vibrant tiger lilies. These are so much fun. And the ranunculus flowers. Y'all, I am telling you right now, you're going to have a love-hate relationship with those flowers. They take some patience. I am telling you, they're so worth it. When you get done, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this took me 45 minutes to make one flower, but look how pretty and lifelike it is. Like, just go into it with that open mind. I'm just warning you, but they're so worth it. They're so pretty. And yeah, those sunflowers, I've seen lots of you creating sunflowers already in our group. And I'm just loving what I'm seeing. And we have a surprise workshop that on the Friday. That's the word I'm looking for. Friday the 16th. We have a surprise workshop on how to make stickers with Cricut for your paper flower bouquets. So this is by one of my really good friends, Mim Jenkinson. She is the sticker making queen. I know a lot of you probably already know her because we love to share in our communities mutually. but she's going to walk you through how to make stickers. And one of the ways you can use the stickers she's going to show you is in day 3. We have there at the end the lavender and sunflower bouquet. And I show you how you can leave it as a bouquet, or you can actually wrap it in like a paper wrapping, and you can put a sticker on the wrapping where it says thank you. You can customize it to say happy birthday or for you or whatever you want it to say. But her sticker workshop is going to pair beautifully with that. So make sure you check that out as well. And then we've got lavender, daffodils. I have a new method for twist on and off paper flowers for backdrop decor. And I even share where you can get the backdrop frames, which are now widely accessible. There's been such a surge of paper flower love over the last few years that companies are now actually creating things just for makers who do paper flowers, like these backdrop frames, which is awesome. And my giant paper flower freestanding arrangement for my poppies. I'm like so in love with them. I'm so in love with how the arrangement turned out. I've made them before, but I'd never done a video on how to do the standing mechanism. And I was just like, I was so obsessed with how the poppies turned out in the collection. I have no idea where they're going to go in my house, but we're gonna find a spot for them because I just love them so much. And of course, today we'll have our workshop on the woodland blooms, which will start in just a few minutes. And then I just want to mention, so no one's confused, down here, these bonus workshops. These are just for our Flower Power Pass holders. These are an extra set of 4 workshops that you get that free ticket holders won't get. And in addition to those, we also have additional bonuses for Flower Power Pass holders that go beyond the blooms. I wanted to include a few things that I thought you guys might like. So this is actually a peek of in the past. I know a lot of you are already in there, but make sure you check out this bonus section if you haven't already. We have a bug and butterfly shadow box collection. We have all these workshops, and then we have exclusive discounts. So we have discounts for the 12 by 12 cardstock shop, which is where I get all my paper. It's exclusive discount for VIP holders. And for Barely Art craft glue, there's a discount for them as well. This is my favorite glue to use with paper crafts aside from a hot glue gun. I use both. I go back and forth for different reasons. And so you can get a discount for them. And then we also have some floral bouquet gift tags. I have an all occasions card bundle. It says birthday here now, but there's every holiday in there: weddings, anniversaries, Valentine's Day, Easter, Hanukkah is all that. We got a card for each one. Pairs great with a cutting machine. And then we have our cardstock paper tracker. And then today, what I wanted to do for you guys is all of our VIP holders, I am adding one more surprise and delight bonus for you guys. Last week, I was making some other designs for our members, and I was like, you know what? Did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? Did it sound like an old man snoring? That was Liberty. You didn't say hi yet, Liberty. I don't want to disturb her. I'll disturb her at the end. She's over there sleeping. Liberty, the fabulous Frenchie. So I'm adding one more surprise bonus for all of our VIP pass holders, and it is going to be a collection of floral stickers. So make sure you watch Mim's workshop because she's going to show you how to cut stickers, and it pairs beautifully with that. But the stickers, you guys, they're all the flowers from this year's Flowerfest. So we've got the woodland blooms, the poppies, the tiger lilies, the ranunculus, the lavender, all of it is included as a sticker form. So much fun, right? So this is going to be an extra bonus that's going into the pass this afternoon. So if you don't see it right away, just check back this afternoon. It'll be going in there, okay? All right, so I'm not going to drone on too much more about all of that. But what I do want to mention real quick before we jump into setup for our project is that one thing we're doing that is much different this year is that our Flower Power Pass is not going to be available to purchase when the event ends. Typically what happens is we raise the price back up to the true value of it. And this year we're actually just going to be putting it back and closing the doors and not actually offering it. So if you do want it, please get it now because only those who purchase it before the 17th will keep access to everything. So I just have to say that to make sure that everyone's super clear on that. Okay, let me come back over here to, give me 1 second, guys. Make sure I'm not skipping anything important. Okay, I think we're on to our craft now. Yay. So let's start walking through how to download a file from Google Drive, which is where you'll find the files for all of your projects this week, whether you're a free ticket holder or VIP pass holder, and how to upload them to Cricut Design Space. Now, if you're using just scissors, you can just observe this section or come back in 5 minutes when I'm done talking about it. But this is just a good tech setup. If you're brand new, it's just really helpful to kind of watch and go through, okay? So I'm gonna pause for just a second and grab a drink. And is there any outstanding questions I need to answer right now?
No, I can answer most of them.
Okay. We'll go back to the comments in case, and you guys can rewatch this when it's done too. So, all right. I had such a scratchy throat yesterday. I was like, oh gosh, I hope I don't lose my voice because I'm going to have to talk tomorrow for like an hour straight. And I don't want to be like coughing all over. Not that, you know, it's virtual, so not that it's a big deal, just that it's annoying. Okay, you guys. So let's walk through the tech side of this, and then we'll get into our bloom after we do our setup. So you can still see my screen here. So this is an example, what you're seeing here, and this is linked below the video, you guys. This is linked below the video. There might be a URL for you to put up on the screen too, but I'm pretty sure they'll just go to below the video in the description. You're going to find a link to this page right now. AbbiKirstenCollections.com/flowerfest-live-workshop. Again, in the video description. This is an example page of what all of the workshop pages will look like when they drop during the event. Okay? Again, pass holders, you're welcome to participate and drop in on these pages when I send the email out, but there's no pressure because you already have all of the material in our course platform to access forever. It's the same material. There's nothing different except that you get all the bonuses and instant lifetime access, of course. So here's a sample page. This is quite literally the live stream that's happening right now, embedded on the page. So you can come back here and rewatch it. Beneath that, you're going to see a button, which we're going to go to in just a second, and our supply list. So you can look at that as well. I will cover the basics here literally in a moment with supplies, but it's all listed out for you there as well for you to return to, okay? In your own time, your own pace. So underneath each video here, no matter what workshop page you're on when they drop, and if you're in the past, you're going to see a button that looks similar to this. You're just going to click on this button. I'm going to open an incognito window so it'll appear like it does for you guys. All right. So in our incognito window here, what's wrong?
I'm just trying to look at the brand tips that you use for your paint pens.
Oh, I'll go over all that too in just a minute. Yeah, I'll go over all that too. Thank you though. So here is our drive folder. It might appear in a stack like this initially. It's fine. You can also, if you like it, toggle over to the grid layout here at the top right-hand side, and you'll get these nice little previews as well. So one thing we did a little differently this year is we always provide supply lists in advance, obviously, and they're there no matter what. But we decided to provide quick guide instructions as well, so that once you watch a video, you can look at the quick guide instructions and actually just like go back and get a quick refresher without having to rewatch the video all the way through. So when you click on our worksheet now, there is our supply list and there's our quick guide instructions. And you can also click here for my online supply resources. So I have a whole post written on that. If you want to know a lot of like the brands I use and that kind of specific stuff, it's all in that post. Just click over on that button, okay? Next to it, we have our templates. We have PDF printables, so that's if you're cutting with scissors by hand. And we have an SVG cut file if you're cutting with a cutting machine. I work with Cricut. That's what a lot of you in my community work with. But if you're using a different model and it's compatible with SVGs, you're good to go. It's just your setup's going to look a little different and you'll need to know your software. I teach from a Cricut perspective. All right, so let's talk about downloading this. So most of you probably can see this download all button here, and you're going to see the same thing when you open it up for yourself on your computer. Now, if you click download all, I'm going to warn you, it's going to download as a zip file. That means you're going to need to take a moment to unzip the folder so you can bring it into Design Space or open up the PDF to print. If you have no idea what a zip file is, and I'm speaking Greek to you, don't worry. What I show you next will just skip that entire step, okay? So if that is you, we're going to download the files individually, and you're still going to need to save them to a spot on your computer. So downloads folder, put it on your desktop, whatever. Can you guys hear my obnoxious dog? Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that or not. It sounds like an old guy snoring in the corner. It's not my husband sleeping on the job. It's our dog. She cracks me up. Last time we were trying to watch a movie, and like she was so loud. We had to crank it up to be able to hear it. I'm trying to roll her on her side. It doesn't work with dogs. You know how you can like nudge a human and like roll on your side and then they stop snoring? It doesn't work with dogs apparently. All right. So if you want to download this here, let's take the SVG file as an example. Okay. If you hover over it, there is a little download button right here. You see the little arrow up here, or you can just click on this and open up and then look for the download arrow up at the top here. In my case, it's the top right. If you're on a mobile device, you may not see a literal download arrow. What you might see is like 3 dots that you click and then it opens and it says save to or save as or download, and it'll still take you through the same process. It's just a different setup on a mobile application. So I'm going to go ahead and download this file. And we're going to save it to the computer. If it's going to let me download, there we go. I'm just going to put it on my desktop here. And I'll click save. And I'm going to open that up. All right. Now, let's come over to Cricut Design Space. That's the software I'm using. And if you open up for the first time, it'll be like a home screen like this. And then you'll need to click new project up at the top. And they just changed this week with an update. Some of you may not even have the update yet, where when you click new project, you now have to select something, I guess. So just click blank canvas. Like before, it just would open a blank canvas, but you know, we're going to click blank canvas this time. I already have a canvas open here, as you saw a moment ago, but I'll just go ahead and open up a new one. And I've already saved it another time. All right. It also does this weird new thing now where it makes the layers panel disappear until you put something on. Like, I don't know, kind of hurts my brain a little bit. I don't know why they change things that don't need change, but we're going to go ahead and upload the SVG file that we just downloaded, okay? Before I go any further, are you seeing any outstanding questions, confusions, anything like that that I need to go through? Okay, I'm going to keep going and we'll check it back for more questions in a minute. So we've opened up a canvas here on the left-hand side. This area is known as the design panel. So we're going to click on the upload button over here, and then we'll click upload image. And then you're going to drag your file over here that we just downloaded. So in my case, that's this file. Please know that I have this nice little preview here because I have Inkscape installed on my computer. And I know some of you are familiar with Inkscape because we just had our SVGs from scratch series that was happening last month. So I know a lot of you do know, but for those of you who do not know, it's just a graphic software program that lets you design your own SVG files. And because I have it set up as the default, it's giving me this pretty little preview. If you do not have software like this on your computer, you're just going to see an internet browser icon. It'll be Firefox, Chrome, Edge, might say HTML. That is your SVG. So take note of where you are placing this on your computer and look for the name of the file to locate it, okay? And then we're going to drag it over here, drag and drop. We'll get our preview there. And I'll click continue at the bottom. And then upload again at the bottom, and it's going to drop it here into Cricut Design Space. And then our layers panel now appears over here. All right, so you can play around with scale if you want to. That is completely up to you. That's one of the freedoms of working with a cutting machine is you can play around with scale. Don't go too small on these because of the centers. You don't want things to be too intricate. So one of the things, and I go over this in a lot more detail in our Bloom with Basics, but I'll do a high level here. One of the things you can do with cutting machines that's super helpful to maximize your material is to ungroup this file and duplicate and kind of get everything tightened together so you're really maximizing that space. Liberty's coming over to see us. You want to say hi? Liberty, come here. Oh, now you're gonna be shy? Come here. Do you want to say hi? This is Liberty, the fabulous Frenchie, and she is our official live stream greeter. You know, like the Walmart greeters? She's like, hi, everybody, welcome to the live. Yes. All right, you go over here. All right, so I'm going to show you how I would just use this file to maximize my material. So my material in this case would be like a piece of cardstock, right? So the piece of cardstock, and babe, they can still see me on the screen, right? It's on the side, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at one thing. I'm like, I can see what I see, right? So our material in this case is our cardstock. And what we want to do is we want to try to avoid a lot of paper waste, or we're going to have to cut things away. It happens, it's going to happen, but we try to do our best, especially since we typically make more than one flower at once, right? Like we're going to make a set of flowers usually to go together. So we really want to maximize the surface area. So looking at our screen over here, I'm going to right click on this to ungroup. Okay, that's how we're able to select these individual elements now. And what I like to do is I like to kind of tuck them close together like this. So we're like, you know, so they're not sitting out here, but they're here, and we're really maximizing that space. Don't put them too close together because then things might tear, but get them kind of close. And then I'm going to click and drag over both of them. I'm going to right click and we'll duplicate. And let's see how wide that is. So when I look at that, that is 9, almost 10 inches wide. We could probably fit one more. Let's see. Not that one though. Rotating is important. So notice how if this one's rotated differently than this one, you're able to actually like maximize your space better. So you can rotate by coming to these corners here and rotating, and you can scale also the same way. So let's see how big that is. That's too big. You have to stay within 11.5 inches. It's a 12 by 12 mat, but there's a buffer on the side. So I'm going to just delete this one and we'll leave this as is. And then I could duplicate this a bunch of times as well. I'm using the keyboard shorthand now. So right click to duplicate, or use the keyboard shorthand, which is Command D for me because I'm on a Mac. And let's see where we're at here. So we're at 10 by almost 9. I bet you I can squeeze one more. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to get that lucky, but we'll find out. We shall find out. So 11.63, if that's correct. I think that's correct. My eyes are a little blurry. So I could scale this down by literally like a 1/10 or whatever of an inch. It's barely going to make a difference. But if it stays under that 11.5, then it's going to be fine. Normally, I wouldn't recommend doing that. If it's going to be, if you're going to scale down significantly more than the tiny micro little bit I just did, you're going to want to scale everything as a group to keep proportions correct. But because that was so teensy tiny, I just scaled it down a bit. All right, so that's one way we can maximize our paper use, and you could repeat the process for like your centers here and your leaves and etc. I'm not going to go through all of that since you guys get the idea. But the most important step of this process, if you're going this route and you're making sure that you're like covering that surface area, you have to use your attach tool at the bottom of the layers panel. If you do not, Cricut Design Space is going to just shuffle it around on the mat wherever it sees fit. So click and drag over all of your petals in this case, and use the attach tool down here at the bottom center of the layers panel. You can undo it at any time, so it's not permanent. And that's going to hold the placement, okay? And then make sure you save your project, of course. Yes, Liberty. It's very nice to hear you snore. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out. So I'm going to use the Maker 3 for this. You can use any of the current models of cutting machines that work with SVGs, that work with paper. And that's pretty much every cutting machine out there that works with paper. That's the beauty of this. But I'll be using the Maker 3. So I'm going to click Make at the top. And I already have a bunch pre-cut, so I'm just going to do one example here. We're cutting on a mat, so I'll click Confirm. I'm going to cut this sheet here. Okay, and I'm going to click Continue at the bottom, and it's going to connect to my machine. So I'm connected via Bluetooth. Okay, so I already have that set up in my computer settings. But if you do not have Bluetooth set up, if you don't want to set up Bluetooth, then there's usually a USB cable that comes with the machine you can plug into your computer. So I'm going to select my model up here at the top. Make sure your machine is powered on. That's important. And I'm going to be using the medium cardstock setting. Now, if you are cutting things like these centers, those are more intricate. So in the case of cutting things that are more intricate in nature for these centers, you're going to want to use the cardstock for intricate cuts, which you can find by selecting Browse All Materials here, and then just start typing it in and you'll find it. But for this one, then I'm going to actually cut medium cardstock will be fine. Okay. So I think that's it on the screen share. So I can probably go back to full screen here to show you guys the next part. All right. One moment, please. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's talk, before we cut this out, let's talk supplies and just paper in general. And I'll also pause to see if there's any like outstanding questions that I haven't answered here. So our machine here is ready to receive our material. It's blinking that double arrow flashing button. I am using medium weight cardstock. I love the 12 by 12 cardstock shop. They are a small business and they are so worth supporting, and they have such good quality stuff. I never, ever endorse anything I don't use in my craft room on a regular basis. So this is what I literally use for everything you're seeing in my projects here. And they have lots of different types of papers, but I really like their Encore paper. It's got a little texture to it. It just cuts so well on a cutting machine if you are going for that. And it cuts beautifully with scissors too. It's just like the perfect weight of paper. So medium weight cardstock. And for the woodland flowers, the beauty of paper flowers, you guys, is that you can make them in any colors you want. You're not subject to what nature says it should grow in. So have fun with the colors. But for my woodland flowers, I like shades of purple and then like soft moss greens for the greenery. So I'm going to be using a darker purple here, in this case for the petals. I'll be using a slightly lighter purple for the stamen piece, this one here, little one. And I'll be using a dusty, sort of mossy, dusty green for the leaves and the innermost center part of it, okay? You'll notice in the SVGs, I colored it yellow just for contrast. I don't know why I did that, but you can cut it out whatever color you want, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and actually load this up, and we'll go over the rest of our supplies as well. So this is my purple for my petals, and I'm gonna bring this down here so you can just see me put it on my mat. Okay, any questions that I need to cover?
So far, really the only one has been, can any of these designs be used with a crepe paper?
Oh, good question. Okay, so last Flowerfest, we had everything was on crepe paper. So to answer your question specifically, a majority of these, with the exception of any of the ones that are single petals and not petal layers, and what do I mean by that? Let me show you. So this is our woodland. This is a petal layer, and this isn't a formal term, guys. This is an Abbi term that after 13 years of making, I've decided to call it a particular term. So I'm using this as an example, but if you Google this, you're not going to find an actual definition for it. So this is a petal layer. That means that there are multiple petal points attached. Now, a single petal would be if it was just one petal at a time, okay? Not a petal layer. The difference is when we work with cardstock, we can layer with petal layers. When we work with crepe paper, we need to work in single petals only to build out a flower petal by petal. Reason being is crepe paper has a grain that runs vertically, and you have to control where that grain is running in order to cup your petals, shape your crepe paper flowers, and actually make them look lifelike. If you're working in a petal layer like this, you can't control the direction of the grain, because if I have the grain running this way on this petal, it's going to be running diagonal over here and diagonal over here. That makes sense. So the answer, the short answer is no. Generally speaking, the cardstock templates that I design are for cardstock flowers. So the ones we're working with here, the layers. And I have a whole collection on crepe paper flowers if you would like it. But that is a very different process, a very different setup, and a very different just process and way of building your flower is very different. Beautiful results on both sides, but different execution in the process. So I hope that answers your question. So I've placed this on my mat here, and I'm going to use my brayer tool just to press the material to the mat. Always a good idea for paper crafts to have this brayer tool to press down. And I'll chat about scissors in just a second if you're cutting by hand. So I'm just going to get this cutting. Any other questions I need to cover?
Just confirm again, what pound is the cardstock you're using? I'm
using 65-pound cardstock, so that's I think 176 grams. And you can go up to 80 pound. So there's a range, but the 65 pounds is what I like. And if you shop at the 12 by 12 cardstock shop, that's what they sell, is that. So you don't even really have to worry about knowing what it is. If you buy like the Encore cardstock, that's the weight that it is already. I'm gonna bring you guys back up here. Hi. Okay, so my machine is behind me, ready to receive this. Oh, hi, Liberty. She took my spot. Oh, anybody else's pets craft with them and they just like move around silently and you turn around, you're like, oh, I didn't see you there. All right, so I'm gonna load my mat here. I'm just pressing it under the guides against the rollers and then pressing that double arrow flashing button and it's gonna receive the mat. And then it's just gonna scan the mat, align it, make sure I have the right tool loaded, which is the fine point blade. It's the default blade that comes with all the machines. I'm gonna take a drink. All right. It's now flashing, that's the word I want. Flashing the play icon, or it might be a Cricut C icon, depending on your model. And we're gonna press that to proceed with the cut. So while that's cutting, I'm gonna talk about your options for cutting by hand, okay? If you're cutting by hand, there are two non-negotiable, well, technically three non-negotiables you're gonna wanna have, okay? First and foremost, you gotta have a printer. You don't have to have one in your house. You can go borrow out friends, family members. You could take the PDFs to get printed somewhere, but you gotta have access to a printer. The other two things you want are scissors. So you want a full pair of scissors, like a full pair of normal crafting scissors. And then you're also gonna want a pair of detail scissors. This is on my supply list as well. Amazon's where I got these, just type in detail scissors. These are great for the centers, for having maximum control when you're cutting. So if you're going that route of cutting by hand, printer and two different variations of scissors, okay? Now, when you're cutting out by hand, you know, templates like this, that's pretty easy to do, especially with the detail scissors. You just cut around your paper and that's really easy to do. But the centers are where it gets tricky, right? There's a wide majority of flowers at this event and every year that the centers are easy enough to cut by hand. And I even show that in some of my videos and in that basics video. But there are some other ones that are like, unless you have the patience of a saint times infinity, it's probably going to be very, I'm sorry, I laugh because my husband's over here laughing and when he laughs, I can't not laugh. So like, I'm like reacting to his reaction. So unless you have the patience of a saint, these are going to be very hard, not to mention just the logistics of like how they're going to appear, right, in the end. There's only a couple of flowers that have this. A lot of the other ones don't have this, and it's not going to be hard to cut by hand. But there's a couple workarounds that you can do that I'll show you in just 1 second here for the centers, and I'll have some alternative options for you. And if you think you might be getting into this more, then I do encourage you to check out the option of a cutting machine because it does make your life easier. All right, so this is done cutting. I'm just gonna unload it, pressing that double arrow flashing button. And I'm gonna bring you guys back down here now. And Miss Ella is gonna wanna come in and craft with me, probably in a few minutes. She always loves Flowerfest every year. She's always so excited for it. Let me go over the hand cutting part real quick because she can't do much of that, and then I'll get her when we're actually building the blooms because she just likes assembly. she's just here for the assembly. So these are my templates that I just got cut out here. I'm going to actually flip my mat over. This is the proper way to remove paper from your cutting mat. Peel the mat gently, don't crease it, but gently peel the mat back from the material. And then mat has been used, so it's coming off fairly easily, but you can see it's not curling your paper. That's also another sign that you've got really good cardstock if the paper is like coming off without excessive curling. All right. There are all my pieces, and you can see I did this one in a slightly different size. So this is a little smaller, it's a little bigger, but you can play with the sizes, and that's an option if you're using a cutting machine. Okay, let me go over our petal count, and then what you're going to do if you're cutting by hand real quick for the centers, what your options are. I'm going to use, I think, this one. And by the way, you guys, if you do a lot of flower cutting like I do, you are going to want to have a way to I like to work in batches. So if I know I'm going to cut a lot of flowers, I'll do all the cutting one day and all the assembly another day. And to keep myself tidy, I'll use clear pouches like this, Amazon. It's just a little clear pouch you stick it in. You can see what's inside of it. It keeps them protected from moisture and getting lost or just thrown off of a desk. Because am I the only one where I lose my things because they're sitting on the desk and then you find them on the dog later? Does that happen to anyone else? That's me. That's me. So I highly recommend something like this if you're an avid crafter in an arena like this. Okay, so petal count for our woodland. Let me grab these two. Okay, you're gonna want 2 of the 3-point petal layers, 2 of those, and you'll want 2 of the center stamen, our green here in this case, and you'll want 2 of these stamen pieces as well that are the lighter purple. So that's pretty easy, right? 2, 2, 2. It's pretty easy to remember. Feel free to play around with it if you want to add more of these. Sometimes I've played with adding a 3rd one. It's always an option for you. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I want to play with this one. No, I'll leave it as is. Okay. Ignore me. I'm talking to myself. All right. So that is your petal count there. Now, real quick, for those cutting by hand, what I recommend for the green part here. Okay, it's not going to look exactly the same, but it's a great option so that you don't have to try and figure out how to have the patience of a saint, which, by the way, if you figured that out, please give me your secrets. So I will cut a single strip of paper. This is about 1 inch, maybe slightly under 1 inch. And you want to cut it, probably make it a little thinner, probably more like 3/4 of 1 inch. And you're going to want to cut it down to about 3 inches wide. Okay, you can do this with a straight cutter, a pair of scissors. And then you're going to fold it over once just to make the process faster for yourself. And I'm going to cut with my detail scissors, little fringe all the way down. And this is going to allow us to kind of mimic this template. And again, it's not going to be like a perfect exact trade-off because, of course, we are working with a cutting machine and there's just certain things you can only do with a cutting machine. I need to go back and add a little bit more. Okay, and then open this up, and then I like to kind of mess it up a little bit. Yeah, quiet down over there, baby. So this can act as your replacement piece if you're cutting by hand to this one. And we could trim this bottom down a little bit more, thin it out. It's fine. It's easier to hold when it's thicker, and that matches that size a little bit more. Now for these are a little bit different of a story. So what I recommend if you're cutting by hand, go to your local craft store, check Amazon. They make these little tiny flower punches that, while not exactly the same, they can mimic this result. Let me see if I can get the glare off of that there for you. There we go. So they can kind of mimic it. It's different, obviously, but it'll give you that option. And they do make them in different sizes. So that is what I recommend. And like I said, most of the workshops at the Flowerfest, there's only a couple that have this situation where you would want to think about this if you're cutting by hand, but the rest are fairly easy for those just using scissors. So I would want to try to find this one maybe in a slightly bigger size, but it could be a close second if you needed it to be. Okay, so that's a little workaround for you. I'm going to go with the ones I've cut out with my cutting machine here, okay? And we're going to talk first about our art mediums that we might put on it. So I am going to start crafting the actual bloom now. If Ella wants to come out, you can let her know. I always have to tell my daughter, you can come craft with me now. I'm done. Mommy's done giving them all the setup information. And if I don't tell her, she's like, Mommy, you crafted without me. You can't craft without me. So cute. Here's my little blooms in that. So much fun, right? Okay. So let's talk about our art medium options here. There's a whole video on distress inks and oxides. So I highly recommend you check that out. That's with the Bloom with Basics collection that'll be dropping for all 3 days of the event. Let me grab the actual set. for you guys here. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to use Distress Oxides. You can use inks. This one is called Salty Ocean. That's the one I'm using. Let me turn it around for you guys. Salty Ocean, and an ink blending brush. Here, did she not want to craft?
She's gonna write that.
Oh, okay. So she's quite literally, Crispel's quite literally crafting in another room right now, but she doesn't want to do the setup part. She only wants to do the assembly part. So she's like, oh, hi, you gonna join us now? You wanna say hi to everybody? Watch your step on that cord. You wanna say hi to everybody? You can't hide. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. It's Christabella. It's my daughter. She loves to craft with us. She's got the creative gene. So we're gonna start building the flower. I'm just explaining how to do the inks. Can you get me a piece of scrap paper from the closet? I know there's equipment there. Just be really careful, okay? You can move it a little if you need to, but just a piece of like scrap paper that, yeah, that'll be fine.
So is there a difference between Distress Oxide and regular ink pads?
Yes, there is. And in that one video, I go over this in depth, but to give you the answer, the quick answer is Distress Oxides are more opaque and they sit on top of the paper, whereas Distress inks tend to absorb into the paper. And so more of the paper color comes up through the ink versus the oxide. I like working with the oxides. I feel they're a little bit more, I can control how the color is going to look in the end a little bit more. I like that I get a little bit more vibrancy with it. I also like that it feels a little bit more smooth and goes on a little bit more like butter, I guess you could say. And that's just my preference. But I have worked with inks as well. Definitely still recommend them. So if you have that on hand already, don't feel like you have to go and buy the oxides. You can absolutely work with the inks. So the other thing I like to use is markers. Mine specifically, I like to use acrylic paint markers. So this one here, I'm not even gonna pretend to say whatever that name is. I'll just let you guys look at it. It's linked in our resources for that supply list page. XPAO Fay or yeah, Expo Fay or something like that. There's lots of different brands you can use, guys. I don't swear by any of these, like as though you can't use something else. You could absolutely use other ones, but I know a lot of y'all like to use exactly what I use. I just love this one because it has so many different colors, but then the cool part is it has dual tips. So there is the brush tip, and then there's the fine point tip as well. So it gives a lot of options as far as like what detail level you're looking for. So let me show you how I would do one of these. You want to help me, Ella? Oh, can you wear the flower crown? I'm sorry, you guys. I promised her that she could wear the jasmine flower crown. She's been asking me for a month. It's like, you can't have it until after the event's over in case I need more photographs for it. And so she's been asking me to wear the jasmine flower crown that I teach y'all in the upcoming event. So here we go. We'll crown you flower princess. There you go. You got your flower crown on. You look very pretty. All right, back down here. Okay, Miss Ella. All right. So I'll let you do one in just a minute, unless you would like to teach them how to do the ink. No?
Can I just do it when you talk?
All right, how about you do one and I'll do another one. I'm trying to train my replacement, you guys. She's just not quite she's not quite ready to be teaching solo yet. All right, so Distress Oxide here. I have a purple with this blue, and so it creates this nice sort of ombre effect. And I'll grab my ink blending brush here and I'll just swirl. You want to go ahead and swirl too? And I'm going to add color to the center here and just out a little bit from the center in a circular motion. And I just have a scrap piece of paper here that I'm using to protect my surface. Do we have any questions?
Somebody was asking, can you use those markers with the Cricut?
Oh, I have a whole post on that on the site for you guys. Yes, you can if you use the right adapters. So go to abbikirstencollections.com, type in keyword pens, and you'll see a post that comes up on how to use non-Cricut pens with your Cricut machine. I have a whole tutorial on that that'll help you. So the answer is yes, and the how of it, go find that in the tutorial. Great job, baby girl. All right. So just a little bit of blending out from the center there. You can see how we still have that purple showing in here, but we got this sort of blue in the middle. So that's the first step. And guys, this is all optional. If you don't want to do this step and you just want to build the bloom, go for it. Totally fine. I'm going to use this light purple acrylic paint marker from that set I showed you to add a few little, I guess we could call them like, I don't know, lines, veins, whatever you want to call them. It's very subtle, but you can see it in there if you look closely. And these subtle details that we think that don't make a ton of difference actually are the things that bring the flowers to life the most. And so for this, I would use, actually I'm going to use the brush side just because I'm going to put very light pressure, but I like how it goes kind of from like thinner to thicker line. So I'll just do a couple of swashes from the center out. Like that. I'll do all this real quick. And it'll fade a little bit because it's like using the acrylic paint markers, the nice part is it actually absorbs into the paper and it fades a bit. So it's not, it's like the oxide is sitting more on top of the paper, and then the paint actually kind of soaks into the paper a bit and it dulls it a little bit, which is nice because it looks more subtle and realistic. And then you'll do this with both of them the same way. Okay, totally optional, but it's a nice little trick. Would you like to work on coloring those over there and doing a whole one yourself? Okay, so I'm going to give you.
How many layers is that?
So to make one flower, it's 2.
Oh.
Yep, 2 to make 1. Okay, and here, yeah, let me give you all this goodies that you're going to need.
Oh, goodies.
Here are goodies, and here's your pen. All right, you go to town. She's going to make other ones back there while we work on ours. All right, so next step here is going to be to curl first and then build onto our stem. And that is the one thing I did not grab. I'm going to have to grab it in just a second. Let me actually, hang on. Hi, I forgot one of my supplies. I have to go to my closet over here and get my supplies. So enjoy Ella coloring her petals from afar. I'm still here, but I have to grab our wire so that we can make it on a stem. There we go. All right, so at this stage, we're close to the stemming process. So one thing that you're gonna do for the stemming process here is you're gonna wanna puncture a little hole. So let me bring you down here. You're gonna wanna puncture a little hole right in the center so we can thread the wire through. If you're using a cutting machine and you want the hole to be cut out, you can absolutely add a hole and have it cut out. The reason I don't is it tends to actually rip more than it tends to cut out because of the size of it. And it's easier to just have a pair of detail scissors, which if you have a cutting machine, you probably have one of these lying around anyways, and puncture a little hole through. And just make sure you're doing this on like some sort of mat or some sort of protective surface. If you happen to own that Paper Bloom shaping mat and tool set I mentioned earlier, you can actually lay your petal layer on there and then just prick a hole right in the center for that. And if you're cutting by hand, you're gonna have to do this no matter what, because cutting the hole out in the center by hand wouldn't be possible. So, but in my Bloom with Basics series, if you watch the cutting machine one, I show you how to add these little teeny tiny center cutouts if you want to experiment with them. I will just say, depending on how small your flower is, it may or may not work in your favor. So do a test cut. Do a test cut first. All right, so there's that. Next is going to be to curl these. So you have a couple options. You can use something like an offset edge tool. I'm going to use my Cricut scraper tool. You could also use, excuse me, you could also use a thin wood dowel. So like a 1/4 inch wood dowel will also get the job done. You can even use a spare glue stick, which is how I started out when I first made paper flowers by hand and sold them to brides on Etsy 13 years ago. I used glue sticks. It's like such a throwback. Hey, Ella, can you grab me a glue stick out of the top drawer there for me? And I'll show them that in just a second. If you're using the offset edge tool, thanks, baby. If you're using the offset edge tool here, take it and hold it between your fingers and your thumb. And we're going to curl so that the color side is facing up when the curl is curling towards us. Okay, so you're going to want to flip it down and then press your thumb with the offset very gently. And you're just going to curl like this. If you have any experience curling a ribbon, it's going to kind of feel similar if you're curling a ribbon with a pair of scissors. I have not had any success curling paper with scissors, so do not recommend that. All right, so that's what you're looking for in your curl. And if you're gonna see how, I'll show you guys how I used to, we'll just call it, I don't know, make it scrappy. We'll call this being scrappy, a glue stick, okay? And you can actually curl like this. Literally hundreds of paper flowers made that way when I first started years ago. And then I was like, oh, look, there's an offset edge tool and we could use a wood dowel. And Abbi, let's just say Abbi got smarter over time. All right, so now we're gonna add this to our wire. I'm gonna pause real quick to get a drink. And do we have any questions? Wow, you're fast, Elle.
Sorry, I'm too fast.
No, you're fine. Just keep it nice and light. You might want to use the fine tip on the other side, okay? All right, I'm still here.
Some questions about what kind of markers you're using.
Okay. Using acrylic paint markers. So again, that'll be linked with that resources on that page below. So just acrylic paint markers. All right. So I'm going to trim this down. This is a 24 gauge wire. It's a thinner wire. Typically, I'll use an 18 gauge wire. So the lower the number, the thicker the wire, the higher the number, the thinner the wire. It works in the opposite way. But because this flower is so tiny and delicate, I like to use a thinner wire. And I don't need this full length, so I can just cut it into two. And that was just some wire cutters there that I was using. Sorry, I am losing my voice. So this is a pair of needle nose pliers here. And we're gonna form a little tip at the top. Basically, it's gonna act as like a stopper. So I'm gonna bend this at the tip, maybe 1/4 of an inch of the way down from the tip. So not very far. So bend it at a 90-degree angle, okay? And form a tiny little circle. Tiny little circle. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, just a little circle that's kind of like acts as a stopper. Okay, go look something like that. Super tiny little circle. Okay, and then remember those holes that we poked into our center here? We're gonna thread them up, but before we do that, we need to actually put our stamen on here, okay? And this one is coming apart on me. One second. All right, this one was falling apart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll this up. I'm gonna glue this on here. And actually, sorry guys, I've made so many flowers, I forget. You don't actually have to build this one build this so that it's at a 90-degree angle. You can just leave it to where it's bent over at the tip because we're going to be rolling this around it. So that works. With the other flowers, you would bend it at the 90-degree angle. So I'm going to add a dot of glue here. And I'm using hot glue for this. So hot glue gun. Be careful with the hot glue gun. And I'm going to add this one first and get that initial roll started. Okay. And then we'll add glue up. Now, working with hot glue on something this detailed is a little tricky. So I told you that sometimes I'll alternate between hot glue and precision craft glue. And this is the Barely Art brand that I absolutely love. I know a lot of you are already familiar with it, but if you haven't ever tried it, give it a try. It grabs really quickly. So for this, just to show you a contrast in our example here, taking its time coming to the surface. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of this glue instead. Okay. And we're going to roll this up. And when you're dealing with the more delicate ones, sometimes it's better to opt for that liquid glue than it is the hot glue, because the hot glue it comes out chunky, right? Like, and it dries kind of thick. So it's striking a balance, you know, on that ultimately. And we're going to do this one more time. We're just going to continue rolling this next one around. So I'll tack it down here first where I left off. Just like that. It'll grab pretty quickly, but you do have to hold it for just a second. That is the benefit of why I try to work with hot glue on everything, just because it does grab so fast. But I'm going to show this one today because it's going to be a tighter fold once it's all together. All right, almost there. Oops, didn't add enough glue here.
I finished.
You finished coloring all those?
Yep.
She is a speedy little color maker, or whatever we want to call it. Look at all the ones she already did. Very nice, Ella. Thank you for your help. Now, if you want, you're a big girl now, so you can do this carefully. Can you prick the little holes in the center using the detail scissors very carefully?
Okay.
All right. All right, so we've got our first part of our center started there, just like that. You can fluff it out a little bit, or you could also do that at the end if you want. There we go. All right. And then we're going to thread this up as well. So we do want to puncture holes into this one as well. So I do need to borrow that real quick, big girl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't as prepared. I've made tons of these flowers, but it's been a couple weeks since I've made them. And so my brain literally will like forget, like, oh yeah, that's the process of that you're looking for, or, you know, whatever. It's kind of funny. I've made so many, my brain is confused. Which process are we working on today? And that's why we're turning to, I will tell on myself, you guys, I have actually made paper flowers from like 8 years ago, and some of them I haven't remodeled yet. And so I literally, this one's being a little stubborn. I literally have to go back and watch my own tutorials to remember. What did I do with this step? Like, I can make it, but like sometimes I'm like, how did I get it just so, you know, like just so, just like that. So we are going to thread this up, okay, one at a time. And we're going to add some glue here, right at the bottom. And I'm going back to hot glue for this because I do want it to grab very quickly. Just like that. Looking for. And repeat with this one. Any other questions I need to answer?
Nope, lots of compliments.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
So I'm saying that you use the Cricut weeding tool to puncture the center hole.
Yeah, I have tried using the weeding tool. I think that's a good idea. I think that depends also on your the size of your flower. Like, I tried it one time, and there's actually a micro hook at the top of a lot of weeding tools, like at the very tippy tip, and it does work. But I think I've damaged mine to where, because I've used it so much, that it's not like the same sharpness it once was, and so it wasn't working very well for me. But I do think for those of you who have not damaged your weeding hooks and have newer ones, absolutely would work well.
Finished.
Thank you. Would you like to do the curling now? Okay, so do
Can I
your,
use the
yeah, the glue stick. I know you don't like the scraper tool. There you go. All right, so there's our center. All good to go. Right up our stem there. And by the way, if you don't want to build this on the stem, you don't have to. Just roll this up without the stem and then tack it right into these and layer them on top of each other. And you can do it without the stem. It's another reason I don't always add the center cutout, because some people want to be able to just make the flowers and then stick them on other things, and they don't want like a hole with the glue oozing through it. So the next step, as you can probably guess, is going to be to thread each one of these on. So we're going to start first here, and we'll add some hot glue right at the bottom. And we'll thread this up just like that. Okay, let it grab for a second. Now, up until this point, it hasn't mattered much how we thread things up the stem, but the next one we add, the last one, we want to thread it up so that these 3 petal points are falling in between these 3 petal points, okay? So you want to be careful with your placement as you're going up. So what I recommend you do is you get this on the stem, thread it through, and we're going to want it to look like that, basically, so that it's sitting like so. So I need to pull this back, add a little glue. And then when I thread it up, just pay attention to where those points are falling before that glue fully sets. And you can kind of pull these out a little bit. I'm actually going to trim this down a bit more. And we're going to look like that. You can let it be super open. The paper does relax a bit over time, so do keep that in mind. And you can wipe the petals off with a soft cloth. You can use a can of compressed air to help blow dust off of them. It's real gently. All that will work. And just keep them out of direct sunlight if you don't want them to like fade. Like even the ones I've had that fade, they still look great. But if you're wanting to preserve as much vibrant color from the paper as possible, just don't put them in like a bright beam of sunlight right by like a bright window or anything. So there's our little woodland blue. Look how cute and teeny tiny it is. And we got that pretty color in there that you can kind of really see that it plays from the different angles.
More towards me.
Yeah, I'm watching on screen. There we go. Super fun, right? So we can also do leaves if we want. I think I have some in my, oh, did I not cut any leaves out? Well, darn it. I didn't cut any leaves out. Well, that stinks. I'll just show you guys what it looks like because it's super, super easy. If you can do this part, you can do the next part. It's like super, super easy. So, oh, look, this one's kind of falling apart. Let's see if we can just... This is how we teach. No, this is not how we teach. This is how we improvise. Okay. So I'm going to improvise for you guys real quick. If you want to make a leaf, you can tack the leaf directly to the underside if you would like. Okay, just like that. If you want to put them on a stem like this, you're going to want two that go back to each other. And you're going to want to sandwich a little bit of wire in between. So a little bit of glue, a little bit of wire, and then you're going to sandwich them in between. This is one I'd already done, and I just kind of pulled it apart for demonstration purposes. So hypothetically. And I do like to use the liquid glue for this part because it makes a more flush result and makes it look more seamless, like it's all one leaf rather than two pressed together. So I have the wire in between. And then the wire is nice too because it kind of adds like a little vein ridging like that. And so that's how you can do a leaf on an actual stem. And then you can shape it with that wire in between as well. Cool, right? And you can put it in like this if you want and actually kind of build it out like that if you would prefer. And another thing you can do here is like when you're styling your flowers, these are great flowers for like accent flowers. So we talk about having like a focal flower in our bouquet, something that's a little bit bigger, a little bit more of a statement flower. And then we have like accent flowers, things that kind of fill space, are super pretty to look at. Usually they're a little smaller. And these make a great accent flower. And I really love putting them into like these little glass domes, like I said. So like this is a little mini one that I did. And just so you guys, because I know some of you are wondering, what I have here is I have some moss, and underneath the moss is just a small piece of foam. It doesn't even have to be floral foam. It's just some sort of small piece of foam. And I just hot glued it to the base and then hot glued this moss right over it. It's like a moss sheet. And then I just put the flowers right through all of that. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit this one in with the dome on it, but because there's that foam underneath, you can push it right through and it becomes like a little arrangement. And it's super cute. And I don't think my dome's going to fit with that new one on there. Oh, maybe it will. Not quite. Oh, I'd have to make it a little shorter. But you guys get the idea. So super fun, right? Absolutely love this one. It's a very beginner-friendly one. You really can't get it wrong. I try to make them all super beginner-friendly, but this is great for, definitely great for beginners. So what other questions do we have about these or in general with supplies, anything? Go ahead and ask now. And Miss Ella, you've been so patient over there. Did you want to be able to glue some stuff together? Yeah? Okay. There are some more here. You're going to need this. have any questions coming through there?
I'm going through again. I don't see.
You guys are.
So that's what glue gun you're using.
I'm using a Surebonder glue gun. And this one is the specialty one called Lynn and Lily. And it's cordless. So it sits on a base charger over here, which I can't really bring all the way over because my cord's not long enough. But then it just sits on, you can lift it off, and then it stays hot for 2 minutes off of the charger. So I just set it back on the base when I'm not using it. And Surebonder has lots of different ones that are super helpful for that. Here, baby girl, I'm going to put you over here, back here. That way you don't have to trip over me as I continue to finish this up. Oh, what's that? Oh. Okay. All right. So, here. These.
2 more questions. Can you use pan pastels instead of the inks or oxides?
Yes, you can absolutely use pan pastels instead of the inks and oxides. I will warn you, if you are used to working with pan pastels and you have them, go for it. If you're like, ooh, pan pastels, I should get some of those. The pan pastels are going to be way more messy. They create a lot of dust. So I do prefer the oxides and to the pan pastels. But pan pastels are beautiful. Absolutely think they're gorgeous on the paper. You may want to consider adding a bit of a sealer to your flowers if you're going to use pan pastels, because like I said, the dust, even when it's on the paper, it can rub off a lot easier. Whereas with the inks or the oxides, once it's dried, it's not going to smudge or move on you. So if you do want to do like a sealer, I'd recommend some sort of like clear UV sealer, and then just hold your flower like a good 12 inches from it and spritz it. And that will seal that into place and really help. Yep, there you go. Okay, you guys. Oh my goodness. All right. So I think I'm going to keep an eye out for questions, but we're going to get into our giveaways here. I am just making sure I didn't forget anything important, like red button right here, Abby. Don't forget to tell them this super critical detail. And then I get off and I'm like, oh man, I didn't tell them. All right. I think we're just on to our giveaways. Okay. So let's talk about giveaways. We are going to be doing a couple of giveaways here in just a moment, and I'm going to ask you guys a question, and everybody who answers the question in the comments is going to just be automatically entered for the giveaways we're doing here today. And then there's going to be other giveaways happening throughout this event. So those other giveaways are, I'm going to call some of them out, babe, and if you want to put those images up on the screen as I call them out. One is going to be a Distress Oxide and Blending Brush Bundle. So these are my favorite colors. And these are the giveaways I'm saying here, guys. These are the ones that are happening during the event. We're going to do our actual giveaways here in just a second, but these are ones coming up. And then we have our Paper Bloom Shaping Mat and Tool Set. So that one is going to be 3 winners. So I'm giving away 3 of them. And then we have a cardstock paper pack. We actually have 2 of these. We have my favorite colors. And then 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop is also giving away an Encore paper pack. So there's actually 2 opportunities to win a cardstock pack. And then we have the backdrop arch frame that I use for the giant paper flowers. So you'll see in my tutorial that drops during the event, we have the twist on and off design where we have like the draping fabric, and this is great for parties and weddings. And so this backdrop arch frame is super handy. I didn't even build this. I purchased it. It was affordable. And I'm going to be giving one of these away. So anybody who's got a special event coming up and you want that backdrop, make sure you keep that one in your sights. And I'll tell you how to enter for them in just a minute. And then we also have $200 Amazon gift cards as well. So one is being given away by me, and the other is being given away by my good friend, Mim Jenkinson, who's teaching you that sticker workshop as well. So you'll have a chance to be able to shop on Amazon and collect all those craft supplies. And I don't have an image for this, babe. It was my fault. It was late and I forgot. But we're also giving away a Barely Art glue set. So I don't have an image to put up on that. It's my fault. But make sure you guys check out Barely Art. We're giving away a glue set on that as well. So how do you enter for these giveaways? Again, these giveaways are happening during the event. So that's just letting you know what's coming up. So the way you enter for these giveaways, guys, is by joining our Facebook group. A lot of you I know are already in there. And you post a picture of what you're making from the 2025 Flowerfest. It can be a flower in progress. It can be a completed flower. Anything goes. It does have to be your own photo. And it does have to be a flower from this Flowerfest event. And please make sure it's your own photo. Yes, I know you all here are awesome blossoms, but we've actually had people other years who'll just steal other people's photos and just try and enter that way. So please don't be that person. we will catch you that nobody's ever gotten away with it yet. So,
And if they don't do Facebook?
and if you don't do Facebook, then you're going to want to enter for the giveaways we're about to do right now. So the rest of these are happening in our Facebook group. I highly recommend, I do get that question sometimes. I highly recommend that if you're super interested in those giveaways, just create a Facebook account for a week and delete it. Super easy to do. Literally name, email, boom, get into our Facebook group. Can you put that link up on the screen, babe? The Facebook group is linked below as well. But get into the group for just a week and then delete your account when you're done if you want to, okay? So that's what we do just for this particular event to keep it a little bit more streamlined for everybody and to encourage that photo sharing. But we are going to do some giveaways right now, so you don't have to be in the Facebook group for those.
Can I enter my flower?
Can you enter your flower? Oh, that's beautiful, baby. You did that all by yourself. Wow. Why don't you show them? Here. Gotta hold it up here. Ella made her woodland bloom.
Wow, you did a good job, sweetheart.
Yeah. Keep going. Make the rest of them. I'll use them for a bouquet or something later. Do you need more wire? There's more wire in the closet over there. That's the word I'm looking for. The closet over there. All right. So what giveaways am I doing right now? Oh, actually, before I do that, I'm sorry. I forgot one thing. You guys probably already know this, some of you who are already in the Facebook group, but we're doing a way to get extra entries for the giveaways as well, the ones that are happening the 15th to the 17th, everything I just talked about. If you share a photo in the group of a bloom, you're automatically entered, okay? There's nothing else you have to do. Just share a photo. We're watching. You're automatically entered. If you want extra entries, we're doing a new campaign called Blooms in the Wild. So all you need to do is take that photo that you shared in our group and go share it on your personal Facebook page. Go share it on your Instagram. Go share it in another crafting group if it's appropriate, and use the hashtag Blooms in the Wild, and then just screenshot it and drop it into our pinned post at the top of our Facebook group. I'll just show you that really quickly here, you guys, and then we'll go on to our, I just don't want to keep Liberty. Hey, stop it. Maybe Elsa's dogs lick their paws constantly. I need to soak her paws. All right. So in our Facebook group, you can see all the fun stuff that's happening in here. Right at the top here, you'll see featured items. This post right here literally explains the blooms in the wild. So if you do share, it's not a requirement. It's a way to get extra entries, okay? If you do share your photos outside of this Facebook group, use that hashtag and then just screenshot it and drop it into the comments of that post in our Facebook group, okay? And you'll get extra entries for all those giveaways I just talked about, okay? Super easy. All right, I just wanted to clarify that for you guys so that no one's like, what post are you talking about? All right, so now we're going to do our giveaways here today. We'll start with the Maker 4. And is there anything that I missed in questions? Because I haven't been looking. I know you're monitoring, but nothing that's standing out. Okay. Okay. What are we giving away? Cricut Maker 4. And I'm giving away 3 VIP Flower Power Passes. If you already purchased, you can still enter. We will refund you, okay? So everybody can enter regardless if you still only have a free ticket or you've already grabbed that pass, we will refund you. I also was doing some cleaning the other day and digging around, and I found a whole box of goodies that I had forgotten about for giveaways. And I was like, well, I'm just going to throw these out here. So let's see what's in the box real quick. Hang on. I have it over here. I think we're going to break this up into a couple of different, let me put it on my chair. All right, so I'm gonna ask you guys a question in just a minute, and then if you answer the question, you'll be entered to win these giveaways, and we'll just randomly pick.
I have a question.
I already have a question, baby. But what is your question?
What's your best summer place to go to in summer break?
Okay, maybe we do that next time, okay?
What?
Okay. So, Maker 4, VIP Pass giveaways, and I'm going to be giving away, look at all these little guys. I got 4 Cricut cuties. I'm going to give away 4 of them. So one to each person. Yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. Super Cricut cuties. This one's a cute little blue one. They're all different colors. But I got these little Cricut cuties. I got 4 of them. So 4 people will get to win Cricut cuties. And then you're going to get this sort of surprise box of supplies. So we have this one here, which is detail scissors, weeding tool, straight cutter. And then I have a whole box of vinyl that I'm going to give away as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's, I think, 7 vinyl and transfer tape. plus that tool set. Okay, so that'll be one prize. 4 Cricut Cuties, the Maker, and 3 VIP passes. Can you write that down for me real quick, babe, so that we can know how many to draw for when I ask the question in just a second? All right, here's the question. He's just writing down so I keep track of everybody.
Is the vinyl and the tool set, that's another one?
Yeah, the vinyl and the tool set is one giveaway. So one person will get all the vinyl and the tool set. And then we'll have 4 people who will get Cricut Cuties, 1 person to get the Maker, and 3 people to get the VIP Flower Power Pass. And remember that Flower Power Pass price is going to increase on the 15th. So if you get it before the 15th, you don't have to pay the price that it'll be the 15th, 16th, and 17th. And then when the 17th ends, the pass is going to disappear for purchase. So only if you have it prior to that will you have ongoing access. Yeah.
If they're selected, send an email.
Yes. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute when I ask them. Okay, so here's the question for the giveaways, and we're going to draw all of this just from the one single question. What is your favorite flower? It does not have to be a flower from the Flowerfest, okay? I just want to know, in general, your favorite flower. If you want to give me 1 or 2, that's fine. But we're really trying to make our library of flowers like as rich as possible. And we want to see what gaps we have based on what you guys love. So it's okay if you say things that we already have. It doesn't matter. But just tell me your favorite flower. And we're going to go back through and collect all of them when the live stream is done so that we can see what we need to build in the future and for future Flowerfest as well. Let me get a drink real quick. All right, I'm going to give everybody a second to type that in, and then we'll just draw. So how many people are we drawing based on that? It should be
5, 6, 9.
9. Okay, that sounds right. Yeah. 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else still have to count on their fingers? Like 34 years old, and I still got to count. All right. I'm going to give everybody just a second to get those in the comments. Let's see what other colors these cuties are. We had that pretty blue one.
It says on the bottom.
Does it?
Yeah. Or on the back, there's a tag that says what color they are.
This one's lavender. This was cute. The lavender one. It's kind of hard to see with the bright light. I know. It's lavender. All right. Feed's still going pretty fast.
Yeah.
All right. We're just going to let it settle for a minute, guys. Give everybody a chance. And then we'll randomly choose 9 winners. See what color this guy is. He's red. Little red Cricut cutie. You know mommy has too many already. This is why I'm giving them away.
I've never seen a red one though.
Oh, wait, that's the right blue one. I think this is the...
Now you could give them to me.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things that you don't always want to keep, but you always want to keep. You know what I mean?
I always want to keep them.
This one's a light blue.
They're too cute.
I know, they're so cute. So we have a bright blue, a light blue, a lavender, and a red one. Super fun. All right, and yeah, you can be international. We'll cover it, guys. So if you're somewhere else, you can still enter. International is welcomed. And I didn't even get to ask you this. I should ask you this. I would love to know like what flower you're looking forward to the most for Flowerfest too. You've seen a lot of people with the sunflowers already and the poppies and the wild roses. So I suspect that's probably what most of you are looking forward to, just because they've been the most popular. All right. Is it slowing a little?
Yes.
A smidge. Ella, are you going to want to help pick winners like you do?
I'll do 2.
You'll do 2? All right.
How many other?
9. I know, it's the most we've ever done, but mommy had some stuff to give away, and I thought, well, it's better to give to somebody who will enjoy than to, well, I forgot I had a whole box of giveaway stuff when I was cleaning out. So that's why it's higher than usual. I know. All right, so my husband, Michael, and my daughter, Ella, are over there, and they're just randomly scrolling the feed. They're randomly going to stop and choose winners, and we'll let's start with the Maker. Okay, the first one we'll choose is for the Maker. Maker 4. I don't even have a Maker 4 yet. I got 3 Maker 3s. I got 2 Explorers. 1 Explorer 3.
You got an Explorer Air 2.
Yeah, Explorer 2. That one's really old. The Joy Original and the Joy, because I test all the machines for teaching purposes, but I need to give some of those away even though they're gently used. Because,
one for me.
Yes, you can have the Joy one because that's a good size for you.
All right.
So yeah, for the Maker 4, who's our winner?
Frida Kirkland.
Frida Kirkland.
Roses.
Roses. Frida Kirkland, roses. Okay, Frida Kirkland, you are our winner for the Maker 4. Please contact us, at hello@abbykirstencollections.com, letting us know you are the winner of it, and send us your best shipping address, and we will get that shipped out to you very quickly here next week. And you will be the owner of a new Maker 4. Congratulations. Did you get that written down?
Yep.
Okay. So let's go ahead and choose the winner for the bundle, the one that has all the tools and the vinyl.
All right.
Let's do that one next. Yeah, so it's got like the tools, and I just smacked myself in the head. Did you guys see that? You can laugh, it's okay. Everyday iron-on is also included. Permanent and removable vinyl. This is a Sports Flex iron-on in like a gold, so that's really pretty. Oh, and look, an X-Acto knife. I didn't even know that was in there. Sorry, I gotta work on my lighting.
Mommy, the next one is Tammy.
What's her full name?
It just says
Just
Tammy.
Tammy. What was the flower with it?
Daisies.
Okay, Tammy, who said daisies, you're our winner for this bundle of supplies. Please send us a message to the email on the screen there and let us know your best shipping address. And if by any chance, Tammy, you do not have a Cricut machine, please let us know and we'll just give you a Flower Power Pass instead, and we'll come back at this at another time and pick somebody else. I'm assuming you do. That's an assumption, but if you don't, just let us know in the email and we'll help you out. Okay, let's do the Cricut Cuties next. I got 4 people we need to choose for that.
All right.
And these are just going to be randomly sent, guys. I'm not going to like pair up color with color, so I'm just going to randomly send. So we just need 4 people.
First one is Pam Breedlove.
Pam, what was the last name?
Breedlove.
Breedlove.
Yep.
Pam Breedlove. So you're going to get a Cricut Cutie from us. Please send us a message with your shipping address to the email on the screen. What's the next one?
Sherry Hooper.
Sherry Hooper, you're the next winner of a Cricut Cutie. Congratulations. Please send us a message so we can ship it to you. And 2 more. What are you typing?
The names in there just in case so they get tagged.
Oh, smart. He pulls one over on me every once in a while, guys. He surprises me every once in a while. No, not really. I'm teasing you. I love you.
Let's see. Mimi V.
Mimi V. Okay, that's our 3rd winner for a Cricut Cutie. And we need 1 more.
I've never had so much trouble with the glue gun before.
Well, that's because you took it off the charger for too long and it's
Oh.
it's now no longer warm. You can use this if you want. So what's the last one, Beth?
Linda Massey.
Linda Massey, you're our final Cricut Cutie winner. We're writing your names down, guys, and please reach out to us. If we don't hear from you within a couple weeks, we will redistribute the prizes elsewhere. So just please reach out to us at your earliest convenience. Thank you. All right, that leaves our VIP passes, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna do 3 VIP Flower Power Pass winners, and if you already purchased, please know that we will refund you. So let's pick 3 people.
Okay. First one is Beth Merrill Bauer.
Beth Merrill Bauer, is that what you said?
Yes.
Beth Merrill Bauer, you are the winner of one of our Flower Power Passes. Yay! Send us a message and we'll get you set up or refunded if you already purchased. And he's just tagging the name. And then we're going to do 2 more. 2 more.
Let's see.
He's carefully choosing.
Maureen Taylor.
Maureen Taylor, you're our next winner for the Flower Power Pass. Please send us an email so we can get you taken care of. I'm so excited about these stickers, you guys. These are going to be in there for the Flower Power Pass holders today, okay? This is an extra surprise and delight, and they're all of our flowers from the event in sticker form. Make sure you watch Min's workshop, though. She'll help you with stickers. I can make stickers, but she's like the queen of stickers. She's the queen. What is it, 1 more person?
Yep.
1 more person. Who's our last Flower Power Pass holder?
Let's see. And the winner is
Drum roll.
My brain just went.
There's like 100 names on there. Scroll, stop, pick.
Unknown gnome.
I'm sorry, what now?
The name is Unknown Gnome.
Unknown gnome. Wow, that is interesting. That's so. No one else is going to have a name like that as a username. Unknown gnome. Okay, that's your username. Send us a message to the email on the screen so that we can get you a Flower Power Pass too. Where is my puppy dog at? She wants to say bye to you guys. Come here. Hi. You want to say bye to everybody? I know you don't. You're like, I was sleeping, Mom. Why are you bothering me? You guys have been incredible. Thank you so much. Look for that extra bonus in the Flower Power Pass bundle later today. It'll be up in there. If you have other questions, please reach out to us. We are happy to help you. We do have higher ticket volume happening right now because there are so many amazing people signed up. We have over 15,000 people registered for this event. So please give us at least 24 business hours to reply to you. I promise we will get back to you if you send us a message. You guys have been incredible. Please share about this event. We would really appreciate your support. We're 100% family run and owned business. My sweet mama Sue actually retired last month, and she's now working with us part-time. So we actually had 2 family members on the team. And I have several other incredible team members as well. Caitlin, my integrator, and Megan, our graphic designer, and Lou, who helps in customer service, and Kate, who helps with copywriting. They all make this magic possible. And I just want to give a shout out to them because I could not do this without them. And I cannot do it without you. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. What do you say, Libby? Was it fun? Did you get good sleeps while we craft? Yeah, I think she did. All right, you guys. I will see you when the Flowerfest kicks off in just a few days. Oh, show up here. Lots of flowers made. I can't wait to see your flowers. Post, post, post. I want to see them. Thank you guys so much. I will see you all soon. All right. Bye for now.